Hello everyone. Stop using seasoning brands until you watch this video. There's a row of bottles sitting in your kitchen right now. Garlic powder, taco seasoning, onion salt, Italian blend. You shake them over meals for the people you love, trusting you're only adding flavor. But the US spice market moves billions of dollars each year, and independent tests have repeatedly found contamination, undisclosed additives, and heavy metals in common products. This isn't about fear, it's about facts pulled from lab reports, regulatory filings, and ingredient labels most people never read. What you sprinkle daily can quietly compound over time. Today, I'm going to reveal 9 seasoning brands that are harmful to you and your family's health. 1. McCormick. McCormick & Company controls roughly 1/5 of the US spice market, generating billions in annual domestic revenue. It is the dominant name in American seasoning cabinets, a symbol of reliability built over generations. That reputation is exactly why scrutiny matters. The company sources spices from around 80 countries. Global sourcing is common in the industry, but it creates a complex supply chain where soil quality, agricultural standards, and contamination risks vary widely. In 2023, a Consumer Reports investigation analyzing popular spice brands, including products sold under the McCormick label, detected lead, cadmium, and arsenic in several samples across the marketplace. About 1/3 of tested products contained concerning levels of at least one heavy metal. Many McCormick seasoning blends list natural flavors, a term permitted under FDA rules to encompass numerous flavoring compounds without itemization. Consumers often interpret it as purely botanical, though the definition is broader. Powder blends also commonly contain silicon dioxide, an anti-caking agent derived from silica, added to prevent clumping. McCormick states that it follows regulatory safety standards. However, detailed third-party heavy metal test results are not routinely published for public review, leaving consumers reliant on brand trust rather than transparent batch data. 2. Lawry's Seasoned Salt. Lawry's has been in American kitchens since 1938. It was acquired by McCormick in 2008 for $605 million. It is one of the most purchased seasoning products in the country, used across multiple meals, multiple times daily in households that have never thought to question it. A single quarter teaspoon serving of Lawry's seasoned salt contains approximately 360 milligrams of sodium. At typical household use of half to 1 teaspoon, a single seasoning application delivers between 720 and 1,440 milligrams of sodium in a condiment. The World Health Organization recommends less than 2,000 milligrams of total sodium per day. Lawry's can consume most of that allowance before dinner is even plated. Lawry's contains MSG, monosodium glutamate, listed directly on the label. It contains yellow 5 and yellow 6, synthetic petroleum-derived dyes. In 2007, a landmark study published in The Lancet found that a mixture of food dyes, including yellow 5 and yellow 6, was associated with increased hyperactivity in children. The effect was observed in both hyperactive and non-hyperactive children. The European Union responded by requiring warning labels on products containing these dyes. The warning reads, "May have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children." The FDA reviewed the same evidence and required no warning label in the United States. Lawry's continues to be sold unstigmatized in every major grocery chain in the country. 3. Old Bay Seasoning. Old Bay carries cultural weight in a way few seasonings do. It belongs to Maryland, to the Mid-Atlantic, to generations of family meals built around its particular flavor. It is also a McCormick brand, carrying with it the same supply chain concerns, the same heavy metal contamination risks, the same absence of third-party transparency. What distinguishes Old Bay is its proprietary formula. The label markets a blend of 18 herbs and spices. Those 18 components are not individually disclosed. The consumer trusting Old Bay is trusting McCormick's sourcing entirely, and that trust is extended without documentation. A single teaspoon of Old Bay delivers approximately 640 milligrams of sodium. At common cooking use of 2 teaspoons, that figure doubles. The celery salt that anchors the blend is itself a significant sodium contributor. The identity of the remaining components, their origins, their contamination testing, and their processing remains the brand's property, not the consumer's knowledge. The emotional loyalty that Old Bay commands, the nostalgia, the regional pride, The generational continuity does not compel McCormick to disclose more, and so it does not. 4. Morton Salt. Morton Salt has used the same umbrella girl since 1914. When it rains, it pours. The slogan was about the anti-caking agent in the salt, a quiet acknowledgement embedded in marketing that the product had already been modified from pure salt into something more engineered. Morton iodized salt contains sodium ferrocyanide, also called yellow prussiate of soda, as an anti-caking agent. Sodium ferrocyanide is a cyanide compound. The cyanide groups are tightly bound to iron and are considered non-toxic at food concentrations by the FDA, which permits the compound in salt at up to 13 parts per million. It is, by regulatory definition, safe. It is also, by chemical definition, a synthetic industrial compound, not a food ingredient, being consumed in trace amounts with every meal, every day, by virtually every American household that uses iodized salt. Morton sea salt carries a different concern. A 2018 study found microplastics in 90% of sea salt brands tested globally. Morton sea salt was among those tested. The health effects of ingested microplastics remain under active investigation. The regulatory system has not yet responded with limits or disclosures. The umbrella girl has not changed. The label has not changed. The salt continues to pour. 5. Knorr. Knorr is owned by Unilever, one of the largest consumer goods companies on Earth. Its bouillon cubes and seasoning blends are used in American, African, Asian, and Latin American cooking. It is, in terms of global reach, among the most consumed seasoning products in human history. A single Knorr bouillon cube contains approximately 900 to 1100 milligrams of sodium, nearly half the entire daily recommended limit in a single cube in a single pot before any other seasoning has been added. Most recipes call for 2 cubes. Most cooks add more salt. The sodium accumulation in a single meal built around Knorr can quietly exceed what the body was designed to process regularly. Knorr contains MSG, listed directly. It contains TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, a preservative that a 2021 NIH review found may impair immune function and potentially contribute to food allergy prevalence. TBHQ is banned in Japan. It contains class 4 caramel color, which produces a byproduct called 4-methylimidazole, 4-MEI, during manufacturing. IARC classifies 4-MEI as a possible human carcinogen. California's Prop 65 requires cancer warning labels for products exceeding threshold 4-MEI levels. No equivalent federal warning exists. Unilever continues to manufacture TBHQ-free versions of Knorr products for the Japanese domestic market. The exported version, sold in the United States, retains it. 6. Accent Flavor Enhancer. Accent is pure MSG. There is no secondary ingredient, no blend, no complexity. It is monosodium glutamate in a container, sold as a flavor enhancer for everyday cooking, owned by B&G Foods, a company whose portfolio also includes Crisco, Cream of Wheat, and Green Giant. MSG was first isolated in 1908 by Dr. Kikunai Ikeda at the Imperial University of Tokyo. In 1968, Dr. Robert Ho Man Kwok published a letter in the New England Journal of Medicine describing symptoms, headache, flushing, sweating, experienced after eating at Chinese restaurants. A subset of individuals consistently shows reactions at higher doses. The threshold appears to be approximately 3 grams per serving, though sensitivity varies. Dr. John Olney of Washington University coined the term excitotoxin in 1969, documenting hypothalamic damage in mice from large MSG doses. The doses used in those studies were significantly higher than typical dietary exposure. The debate over what dietary levels mean for human neurology has never been fully resolved. What is resolved is that MSG provides no nutritional value. It is a purified synthetic chemical compound. Its only function in accent is to make other food taste more compelling. 7. Taco Bell Seasoning Mix. The retail Taco Bell seasoning mix is manufactured and distributed by Kraft Heinz, the same company that owns Velveeta, Kraft Singles, and Jell-O. It is one of the most purchased seasoning blends sold in American grocery stores. The first ingredient listed on the label is not chili pepper. It is not cumin, it is not oregano. It is maltodextrin, a highly processed carbohydrate derived from starch, with a glycemic index estimated between 85 and 105, higher than table sugar. Maltodextrin is a filler and a carrier. It is what the spice sits inside, not the spice itself. The actual spice content, chili pepper, cumin, and oregano, appears deep in the ingredient list, subordinated to modified food starch, caramel color, silicone dioxide, and natural flavors. The consumer purchasing this product believes they are buying a spice blend. What they are largely purchasing is processed carbohydrate with flavoring, and the label, while technically accurate, is designed to make that arrangement invisible. Goya Adobo. Goya Foods is the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States. Its adobo seasoning is a generational staple in Latin American, Caribbean, and Hispanic American kitchens, used not occasionally but as a foundational seasoning in daily cooking. The trust Goya carries is not merely commercial, it is cultural, inherited, and deep. Goya Adobo contains MSG, listed directly. A quarter teaspoon serving contains approximately 160 to 180 milligrams of sodium. At the typical use of 1 to 2 teaspoons in Latin cooking, a single dish receives 640 to 1,440 milligrams of sodium from the adobo alone. It contains silicone dioxide. Its with saffron variety typically contains synthetic saffron color rather than actual saffron, a cost reduction made invisible by the label's suggestion of authenticity. Goya's supply chain for spice ingredients spans Latin America, Spain, and the Caribbean. The company has not published transparency documentation on heavy metal testing comparable to the standards now available from smaller, cooperative-owned brands. The cultural authority that Goya carries makes that absence particularly significant. Trust, when it runs this deep, tends to not ask questions of itself. Number 9. Mrs. Dash, or Dash. Dash, rebranded from Mrs. Dash in 2020, also owned by B&G Foods, is marketed specifically to health-conscious consumers managing hypertension. The no salt added positioning is the product's entire identity. For the consumers it targets, people who have been told by a physician to reduce sodium, Dash represents a trusted medical accommodation. The no salt added claim is accurate. What the product substitutes in sodium's absence is more complex. Natural flavors appear in the ingredient list, the same undisclosed chemical compound category present in products Dash users believe they are avoiding. Citric acid functions as both preservative and flavor enhancer. The dehydrated garlic and onion are sourced from undisclosed origins. The same supply chain heavy metal concerns present in every other commercial seasoning apply here equally. The two worth trusting. Number 1. Frontier Co-op was founded in 1976 in Norway, Iowa. It is structured as a member-owned cooperative, a legal and operational architecture that removes the shareholder pressure to reduce ingredient quality for margin. It holds USDA certified organic status across most of its product lines. It publishes country of origin for individual spices. It makes certificates of analysis available to professional buyers, documenting pesticide testing, heavy metal testing, and microbiological results. No anti-caking agents appear in its single-ingredient organic spices, no artificial colors. Number 2, Simply Organic is the retail consumer brand of Frontier Co-op. Same ownership, same sourcing standards, packaged for mainstream grocery distribution. It is available at Target, Kroger, Safeway, Walmart, and Walmart, approximately 40,000 retail locations across the country. Its taco seasoning contains just 6 ingredients: organic chili pepper, organic cumin, organic onion, organic garlic, organic paprika, and sea salt. Nothing hidden, nothing complicated. Every ingredient is clear, familiar, and easy to recognize. There's no scientific jargon to decode, no mysterious additives buried in fine print. It's simple, transparent, and honest, exactly what food should be. Now look at your spice rack. The bottles are still lined up the way you left them. Garlic powder, seasoned salt, that Italian blend you reach for automatically. The packaging hasn't changed. The colors, the fonts, the comforting familiarity, all the same. At a glance, everything feels normal. And that's the point. Change doesn't always arrive with a loud announcement. Sometimes it slips in quietly, wrapped in routine. hidden in plain sight. You don't notice because you're not meant to. If this made you pause and think differently about what's in your kitchen, like, share, and follow for more insights like this.